God, it hurts.
12 people, their lives were lost, and some are still recovering.
They came and stood on this day, on the spot where Aurora is showing it still stands.
It just shows how close of a community we can get in something so tragic.
It was just something I had to see.
Hundreds came. Some stood very strong. Others found their strength simply by letting go.
People wondering, what was going through that guy's mind when he shot them?
What was it? Why disrupt so many lives? Many of these people spent all week at work asking those questions to themselves, and you could see people just needed a place to come at this week's end.
And I never thought this would happen. My friend's dad was killed, Gordon, he was killed. It makes me think twice about my dad and my mom.
We all have thought twice, maybe 3 times, maybe 100, about what happened in there.
We went through the same tragedy as you guys did.
Which is why this place was so special on this day, because people came who've been through this before.
That whole Hokie Nation thing is very strong.
It will heal. Sooner or later, it will heal.
And around the same time as that statement came,
This wind farm is amazing.
the wind blew just enough to move a son closer to his dad, both standing strong with everyone in Aurora. This is Matt Flener, 9 News.
I felt numb all day. I felt sick.
No grandfather has ever had the task of telling the public healing is easy after you lose a granddaughter.
It's all I can do to be out here talking with you.
So credit the grandfather of 6-year-old theater shooting victim Veronica Moser-Sullivan for standing up for his family after learning someone had broken into his home.
I don't know if the people were aware.
He's here, not only because burglars took jewelry and cash, but a simple blue and red memory card.
There were 4 cameras. One that had the memory card.
The memory card that had this picture of a day back in May when Veronica Moser-Sullivan had completed kindergarten.
And after that was over, we took her out for ice cream.
And this was one of the only pictures Robert Sullivan had downloaded off that memory card.
Those are the last photos I have of Veronica before the shooting.
To whomever broke in here, you have one of the only pieces a family has to remember a beautiful 6-year-old girl.
Finally, Veronica is going to have her funeral service. I had my own tribute that I wanted to put in the funeral service for her.
Please, give that memory card back. Give this family some peace so they can continue to heal.
I'm not sure what the future holds, but I keep hoping things will get better.
This is Matt Flener, 9 News.
There's one particular video I watch a lot that makes me laugh. It's them dancing to Justin Bieber.
Cradled in the hands of their mom are 5-year-old Caitlin and 18-month-old Cody Johnson.
There's Cody in the bathtub.
Those memories are so good. And then there are the memories of last week.
So that night, I was staying at a friend's.
2 a.m, Rosa Youngs Johnson got a call on her phone from her estranged husband. She hung up and then heard a noise.
And I said, oh my God, it's Bill crashing into my car.
3625 South Dallas Street.
She called Aurora police. She asked them to do something, not knowing if her kids were in the car.
He hit my car. That's a violent act.
But her husband had already taken off for their home in Northglenn.
I had Northglenn do a welfare check on the kids.
Police there pulled him over and called the Aurora officer investigating.
And I can tell you that when our officers contacted the vehicle, all the children inside the car were safe.
The Aurora police officer had to say, let him go. Not enough information yet, and wrapped up her investigation just before 4.
I immediately got into my car and drove back up to Northglenn.
Back at her house, she saw his Mitsubishi. She saw smoke. Then she saw him.
He had grabbed my head and brought it over into the passenger side and beat me for several minutes. Finally, he just stopped just stopped out of nowhere and ran back into the house.
Bill Johnson had barricaded himself inside and started a fire. Police had to break down the door. They got the toddler out. They got Johnson out.
Unfortunately, Caitlin was the last one out of the house. 50% of her body is burned.
Why did this happen? Youngs Johnson only says he seemed different that day.
He wanted to get reconciled, basically, and I said that's not going to happen.
She also questions what happened back at Aurora.
Why wouldn't that officer take me seriously when I told her something's wrong with these kids? There's something going on with these kids.
You know, if we could have done something different, we would admit that. We would come forward with that.
Yet Aurora police say they did everything they could with the information they had.
Was it a hit and run? Was it an accident? Was it intentional? Whose property? All these questions had to be ironed out. And in that quick 20 minutes or so that she had been on scene when Northglenn had stopped the mail, those questions hadn't been answered.
The ultimate question is for Bill Johnson.
The biggest thing is I want to know why. Why would you do that to your kids?
The woman he was married to for 5 years can only wonder.
He attempted to kill his own children to spite me.
No matter what happened between parents, this story must now be about the kids.
They don't have clothes now. They don't have toys now. I mean, their belongings are all gone.
And they must recover. She must remember what was with them and what she hopes to experience again.
And just continuous prayers.
In Aurora, Matt Flener, 9 News.